For time very limited, I give you a very quick talking about the China faced climate change, what we will do, what was happening. So 3 parts, because the China is a little bit far away from you. Some people, I just give you a very brief talking about the basic geography. This is China territory, land territory, and the topography. You see the total land area is about 9.6 million kilometers square, and cover about from 60 longitude and 50 latitude. This is the, and also you can see the 3 steps. One is the high plateau, we call the Qinghai Xizang Plateau. You call the Tibetan Plateau. It's the surface elevation about 4,000 meters above sea level. The second one down to the lowest plateau, about 1,000 to 1,500 meters. And the last one is flat in the east part. So you can see this monsoon control my country's weather. This is the basic complex monsoon system in East Asia. And this is the Tibetan Plateau. This is the lowest plateau. This is the east part of China. This is the ocean, Indian Ocean and the Pacific. And you know the different the mean annual temperature by the whole land territory about 9.6 degrees centigrade, and the mean annual precipitation about 630 millimeter. And the famous Professor Huang Bingwei make the major geography unit in my country. You see, this is the, and this is northwest arid area. This is the semi-arid area. This is Tibetan Plateau. This is the monsoon area. Very different climate and also different climate meteorology disaster in this country. For example, this is the drought area, yellow color. This is the frost here, and also snowstorm somewhere this way. So frequently extremes in my country. And a lot of changes cannot express here. I just give you some key talking about the weather, climate, environment, and the cryosphere, which cover the glaciers, permafrost, and the snow cover. And firstly, I must stress the Chinese government and the scientific society make the contribution for the IPCC for over 20 years. And the focal point is from CMA. I was, but I'm not now. So and very important thing is the Chinese scientists joined the writing team. Total about, this is from start, only 11 par, and last time, AR5, we have about 44 people join this team. I think it's quite a large party from the developing country. And also, very many years ago, in 1980s, the Chinese CMA was built the Gold Station in the center, geographic center of China. This is we call the Waliguan atmospheric baseline satellite station, and latitude and longitude, and also we have the measurements. Compare China Gold Station and the global average from the WMO. And for the IPCC work, and in China, we organize the scientists to make our own assessment report on climate and environmental changes in China. There are publications with the Chinese language and English abstract and figures. And fortunately, I work with my friend, Thomas Dock. So this photo, you see, 7 years ago, a little bit younger. So IPCC make people old. That's terrible. And this is the first leader of the meeting in Kunming, where Thomas Dock had some very exciting experiences after his PhD life. And the Chinese assessment report gives the 2,000 years temperature record. And we can find during the past 200 years, 2,000 years, warmer period, at least 4 periods. And the mean temperature by the measurements relative to the mean climate, that means from 17 to 2000, you see the temperature increase, surface temperature increase. And for the 100 years, and about 0.91 degrees centigrade on the land, does not exclude the ocean. And for the temperature, for the last 50 years, every 10 years increase 0.23 degrees centigrade. It's quite big number. And also for the annual temperature, we give this figure. See, this is the northern part, this is the southern part. Is the warming trend is mostly significant in the northern part of China. And for the precipitation, no big change. You see, no big change. And for the precipitation patterns, is very interesting. There's the significant changes. You see, from the 1950s to the north, little bit to the south, and to the south, and back to the north. This is the typical decadal pattern of the precipitation in my country. It's very, very important for the monsoon region in China. And back to the cryosphere. So the cryosphere in China, we cover glaciers, frozen ground, which cover the seasonal frozen ground, and the permafrost and the snow covers. So we already finished the cryosphere inventory the first and second time. We give the number of the glacier area and the value and the permafrost and the snow cover. So important, the glacier in the mid-lower area developed in the high mountain, this area. You just have, this is the Yellow River, this is the Yangtze River. You see, there's the key area for the cryosphere, we call High Asia cryosphere. And also the second area we call the master director important area and the potential area. So that means the key area for the cryosphere and the most direct and the potential. Total in this area, about half population of the Earth, people live in this area. And the 8 rivers go to the Arctic Ocean, go to Indian Ocean, and go to the Pacific Ocean. And the arid, semi-arid area in this area is very important for the people's life, for agriculture, for environment, and for the cities. So we also set up the several monitor stations for the cryosphere changes. This is the distribution in this area. But this will be older. So the new station already in the neighbor countries and in the polar regions. And we have about over 50 years glacier mass balance records. This is the records from several glaciers in China. You see all the decrease, the accumulation. And the typical glacier number 1 in headwater of the Urumqi River in Tianshan Mountains. We start from 1950s. And this is the little ice edge. You see, and then this is the glacier in the present. And before, in 1962 and 73 and the 80s, until to the 1986, 1994, this one glacier retreat and change into 2 glaciers. This one, and this one. You can have the photo. You see, there's no accumulation area in the summer. Whole glacier melting. And we make the projection by the scenarios the people mentioned. In the end of later this century, probably only small hand glacier live or disappear. And also permafrost warmer. And this one give the warning at the 6-meter depths. and also in the rising rate higher in the mountain than the lower area. And see what's the impacts and the actions. So there are a lot of impacts of global climate change. I give this one. This is from IPCC, AR4, AR5. See, what's the extremes? This is the extremes happened in China in 2008 in southern China. We called rare low temperature, freezing rain, and the snow hazards, make damage for the electric tower and for the highway, make a lot of difficulty for the people, because that period just the Spring Festival in China by the tradition, like Christmas in the Western country, the people want to go home, but here everybody want to go home from southern China to the north, but traffic stopped, airplane, bus, and the railway. So you see the mother and the young couple by foot, like make a long march. And this is in the railway station. You can realize how many people in China we have. And also, for the environment, you saw in China the energy supply mainly by coal, 70%. It will be reduced. This is the China energy consumption continue to increase every year. And last year, about 36.7, okay, so time 10,000 tons. And you see, but the total value increase, but the ratio decrease. And this damage our environment and produce a lot of health. You see, this is the environment, air pollution, very difficult in the east part of China. So I'll give some picture. This is early this year, in the April, you see the health. You can see the Tiananmen Square. Here, can you see? Very difficult. This is the CCTV, very famous CCTV building, very fashion, but terrible. And this is the house in Tianjin and house in Shijiazhuang. And the people make the protection for everybody. This is from the magazine. I took the picture for this one. It's interesting. So, humidity. And back to the water resources. This picture I took in the west part of China. This is the high mountain, Chilean mountain. This is the oasis, and here desert. The landscape, the high mountain with the glacier, permafrost. Then oasis. Then Gobi Desert. This natural ecology system very important based on the water, which is from permafrost and glacier in the high mountain. We call the cryosphere in China. So unfortunately, because of the global warming, the glacier retreat. For example, this is the Chilean mountain. This is the glacier, red color and white color, and also permafrost. The river go to the Minqin oasis. But unfortunately, the Baden-Jilin Desert and the Tenggalik Desert, they want to meet each other. And the oasis shrink, and no water. See the picture from Xinhua Agency. This is the very famous picture for 10 people's village, plus one hunger. So you see in the sandstorm, and this is here was the school. It's closed because no people, only this baby. And this is the village. And also there's almost very hard for ranking cropland and the water. The groundwater change into the high salinity, so cannot eat and cannot use for agriculture. So very important for and the cryosphere is important for the inland part of China, for the people's life, for agriculture, for the cities. And also see the damaged railway, and this is not real. This is the test area for railway, test area for the highway. So the scientists make the test, then get some exact data, then give to them to the engineer to make the design. So that's why the Qinghai-Xizang highway and railway can keep smooth. This is the project we called the Tibetan the railway. So you see all this one based on the result of our research. And see what's the actions. So in China, because the economy developed, the carbon emission also increased. Before we are very low by the per capita. Now we are. What's this? This is a very new data from 2015. Now in China, this is China. I'm sorry, this is China per capita 7.0 tons, and this is the EU. We are same, but before 20 years before we are very small. So this one means the big pollution and the big emission of greenhouse gases from China. And what we will do in China, the government pay more attention for this one. So in the national level, we have the national lead group of the address climate change. Many ministries, as I see, the Foreign Minister Affairs and the National Development Reform Committee and the Environment and Business and Chinese Academy of Sciences and China Meteorological Administration. So many ministries work together. And this is national level. And we produced the China National Climate Change Program. And also make the greenhouse gases emission reduction track. And then we have the ministry like a forestry industry make the address climate change action, this one. And also for the local level, like the province level, some provinces also do like Chongqing, they make the outline of the plan of the greenhouse gases control of the Chongqing city. And of course, about last Copenhagen meeting in the year 2009, the China government make an announcement that mentioned to the 2020, the CO2 emission per unit of the GDP will be reduced by 40 to 45, compared with the 2005. That's our Prime Minister Wen Jiabao make the announcement. And now we are doing by this way. And also, we have the low carbon pilot project, and we also develop a lot of green energy stations, like wind farm, solar panel, and hydropower, and nuclear power. All these ones. If you go to northwest of China, in the Gobi Desert, you certainly find the big lake, but when you close to sea, no, it is not water, it is the solar powerhouse. Okay, last one, I must mention for the cryosphere in China. And firstly, we want to develop the cryosphere science itself, which means we have the monitoring and to see the change. And also, we want to make the relationship with the atmosphere and also with the hydrosphere, biosphere, and the lithosphere, as well as the human development. This is the four for the cryosphere science developed for the future. So by the time different, I have to stop here. Thank you very much.